What the heck are we gonna call these things? Should we call it like Ghost News, Video Games Weekly? Should we call it Ghost Weekly, Ghost Update, Ghost Gaming Update? Maybe we should just call it Do You Remember G4? Because this is kind of like that. What's going on, guys and girls? It's GhostRobo, and we're back with another one of these combo news updates, because you guys and girls seem to really like the one I did last week. Thank you so much for the kind, positive feedback. It does mean a lot, because I've been trying really hard to up the quality on both of my channels, and it's still a work in progress, but YouTube has been so rough as of late that I realized I've got to do my very best. I got to put forth my top effort like I have never done, because it's my only choice, and I'm really enjoying putting much more time in the videos, editing a lot more. It does take a lot of work. It's kind of exhausting, but I'm liking it, and hopefully, as I continue to get better and better, and by the end of the month, we'll have like a really good routine and a bunch of cool videos for y'all to enjoy, but I'm glad you're liking some of them already. So again, we've got 4 news items today that I found really interesting, and I think you guys will as well. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of them, and if you enjoy this show and want more, we'll make it a regular ordeal. We just need a name. We need a freaking name. So today we're talking about No Man's Sky Beyond, which is way beyond what I thought it was going to be. We're talking about my time with Borderlands 3, because I just got done playing 5 hours of that new looter shooter. And we're talking about a new Resident Evil game being tested in the United States secretly. We've also got a new Switch screen that I think is potentially hyper exciting, so let's get into it and start with Sean Murray and No Man's Sky. Can you guys believe that No Man's Sky first came out August 9th, 2016? We did a bunch of videos. I was super excited. It was kind of boring, but it was still cool, but it wasn't what it was supposed to be. They talked a humongous game and then delivered kind of like a lunch portion. It was still fun. We played a bunch of it, and then it kind of disappeared. But it came back with No Man's Sky Next on July 2018, and that was a pretty cool update. We played a bit of it. It didn't win me over completely, but I did see the improvements. Now, 3 years after the initial launch of the title, they're putting out No Man's Sky Beyond on August the 14th of this year, in just a couple of days. And internally, they're referring to it as No Man's Sky 2.0 because it is that big of an update for them. They said that they were going to do smaller updates because Next was such a big undertaking, and now here they are a year later with something even bigger. So what the heck is in Beyond? Because I thought it was just a VR update. That's what I'd seen around the internet. It's actually a whole lot more. There is the VR update that allows compatibility with VR, and I'm sure for a space exploration game, that'll be pretty sick. But it also doubles down on multiplayer, and it adds a new social hub called the Nexus that will have new missions, new shops, and new story, and allow for up to 32 players to be in the same... Okay. Sorry for that super awkward pause. I thought I was getting a very important phone call, but in fact it was my neighbor number, which is a meme that has gone way too far, and I really hope stops soon. It's just dumb. It's just unnecessary. I hope that you have not run into your neighbor number. It's too far. But something that is going far in a good way is No Man's Sky Beyond. So let's get back on track. It's got that Nexus social hub, up to 32 players. You can take on missions together, interact, hang out, teleport to each other's bases. Pretty awesome, and really doubling down on multiplayer, kind of fully realizing more of the initial vision of No Man's Sky. But on top of VR and multiplayer, there are a ton of changes that help make this 2.0. So No Man's Sky Next had about 250 changes, and they're saying this one has over double that list. And it's a wide array of upgrades, both big and small. One of the biggest things they've done is make base building more fully featured. You can now automate things, there are recipes, there are more structures, NPCs walk around now, you can sit in chairs, which is a really funny one to call out, but you can sit in chairs, you can ride animals on planets, you can harvest those animals, you can milk those animals. So if you're one of those blue milk, green milk type people, had a lot of fun with that in Star Wars, now you can make it happen in No Man's Sky. Weirdo. But honestly, like, milking creatures in No Man's Sky, what does that lead to? I'm gonna have to check it out. It's inevitable. There's also a new galactic map and new alien races, so all in all, it is a big update, and it's probably gonna grab me and get me back in the NMS groove. If you guys want to see me play some No Man's Sky next week, let me know in the comments down below. Maybe we can have some fun riding and milking animals together. I'm actually super glad that there's been some cool news lately, because honestly, I'm kind of just waiting for the end of the month when we get Remnant from the Ashes, when we get Control, when we get Astral Chain. There's a lot of good stuff coming at the tail end of August. Right now is kind of dry for actual games, so it's nice that we've got some fun stuff to talk about, isn't it? August 14th is a big day though, because there's also something else happening the exact same time. Borderlands 3! I got to go play the game for 5 hours in San Francisco. It was, well, I'll tell you on August 14th, but just know that I got to play a lot of that game. A lot of that game, and it got to play... Okay, come back on August 14th. I'll share everything with you then. This is hard. This is one of the trickiest things when you go and you play something and you know all about it and you want to share about it, you want to talk about what you played, you want to talk about your thoughts, and you can't. But I am allowed to tell you that the videos are coming August 14th. So if you're pumped for Borderlands 3, you know my initial thoughts based on the gameplay reveal event and based on E3 were that this is a very, very awesome upgrade to the Borderlands universe, and the guns feel fantastico. I love the looting and shooting in this style and the fact that it is campaign heavy, story heavy, all sorts of planets. The new classes are rad, guns with legs are super cool, and the game looks really, really nice. It's a throwback, but it's also pushing forward, and I love that era of gaming. It's honestly more fun to me than what we've got going on currently, as you've seen probably with like Anthem. The Cataclysm update sadly just doesn't sound that great. It was supposed to be the big thing, and that game just can't catch a break. But Borderlands 3, August 14th, I'll see you guys next week for that. Ooh, this one's interesting. There's a new Resident Evil game being tested. Now, they're asking RE ambassadors who live in LA and New York to come test the game in September. This has already happened in Japan, or at least the invite has already happened. I believe it's the first week of September over there in the East, but they're clearly prepping for some new Resident Evil. And I think the important thing here is, what Resident Evil game is it? Could it be Resident Evil 3 Remake? We know that 2 was incredibly successful. I loved it. I thought I was gonna hate it because it's like a throwback to something really old. I like throwbacks, but not that far back. Remakes to me aren't that fun, but this one, it grabbed me. I loved the campaign. It was nice and short and condensed and just fun throughout. There wasn't a wasted moment. The shooting was awesome, the intensity and scares were there, and the environment, the atmosphere, backtracking and working through and really learning the place was a whole lot of fun. So I'm totally open to a Resident Evil 3 remake if that's the route they're gonna go, and maybe given the tech they've already established, it's something that they can push through super soon, maybe even as early as next year, or maybe they are prepping Resident Evil 8, which is honestly what I really hope this title is, because I love 7 so much. It's my favorite in the series. Might not be the most popular opinion, but it's my personal favorite in the series because of what it did with roaming bosses. Roaming bosses is something in gaming I have loved for a long time, and it really hasn't been achieved as well from games I have played as it has in Resident Evil 7. That's the best example of, like, the creepy dad dude is just like roaming, busting through walls, chasing you around, and you can run into him. You gotta solve puzzles, kill other evil guys, and try to survive while this big bad boss is hunting you. And the mom in the greenhouse who turns into a spider and comes... It's not Charlotte's Web. It's way worse. It's terrible. It's horrible. It's really scary. It really made me scream. But I loved it. And then you progress on, and there's like some escape room type stuff. The DLC was great. The whole game... At least the first half is phenomenal. I'd say the second half is probably really good. I love the first half, and I hope that they continue to build on that framework for Resident Evil 8. We know that they're working on more games in that engine, so it could be RE8, or maybe RE8 is being saved for next-gen consoles. I don't know. This all could be for something way less exciting. Maybe there is some spin-off Resident Evil, a card game, a mobile game. I don't really know. But hopefully it's either Resident Evil 3 Remake or Resident Evil 8, and hopefully we'll know more soon. Another phone call, except this time it was actually from my girlfriend, so that's a-okay. But last but not least, we've got Nintendo Switch getting a new screen from Sharp. This is a pretty big deal, actually. It's being reported by the Wall Street Journal because Sharp announced they'd be providing their IGZO display panels to a video game company. And earlier in the year, Wall Street Journal reported that Sharp and Nintendo were hooking up, so it lines up, it makes sense. The real question is, which Switch will get the new screen? Could it be in the coming Switch Lite? Maybe a further revision V3, or actually, could it be in the Switch Pro? Now, these IGZO display panels, it's actually the tech behind the panel. It's a component, so it helps the screen out, but it can be used in both LCD and OLED screens. Sharp uses this tech in their 8K high-end TVs, and in their smartphone. So it's hard to know exactly what this will do, and a lot of it depends on the tech and hardware beneath the screen. But at the bare minimum, these IGZO display panels should provide a brighter image, a richer colored image, a screen that is more durable, less scratchable, one that is more responsive to touch, and one that is far more power efficient, improving battery life. But if they do improve the tech of a future Switch, then this screen could do a whole lot more, allowing for a 1080p experience, a 60 FPS handheld experience, and that would be remarkable. If you guys want to know the whole breakdown, I posted a full, very detailed video over on Switch Force. I'll put a link in the description because it was kind of confusing. There's a lot of details, but it's actually really exciting when you know the full potential. My throat has been hurting a lot lately because I'm making so many more videos and trying to do better videos, and I'm back in that groove where it's like commentating and talking, and I gotta get my voice back used to that and back worked up. But it's a good sign, it's a fun sign. It means I'm making content, and hopefully you guys are enjoying that. Let me know your favorite story from today, what you think about the different stuff, if you're gonna play No Man's Sky Beyond, if you want to play it with me, what you think that new Resident Evil game could be, if you're ready for my Borderlands 3 content on August 14th, and if you're pumped for a new Switch screen. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll probably be back with another news roundup once those stories develop. Until that time, though, thanks again for all your support. Drink some hot chocolate, and until next time, I love you all. Not Switch Force out, but instead, we will see you all later.